ألا هو العزيز الغفار. يكور الليل على النهار ويكور النهار على الليل. This is a very, very important verse. And if people after the Prophet died, they think and they thought about the meaning of the words, because this Quran comes in Arabic and people speaks in Arabic, same language. When I said يكور الليل على النهار, like, you know, يكور الليل على النهار, he wraps the nights around the earth, like, you know, and يكور النهار على الليل, and he wraps the lights, like, you know, the nahar على الليل. I just want to show you something here, like, you know, like this one here, like you see the lights and you see the earth here. So this is a wrapping, like, you know, the يكور النهار على الليل. So what we understand from this when Allah said يكور الليل على النهار ويكور النهار على الليل, it means that the earth is a sphere. You can't wrap something totally unless it's a sphere. It's a round. The earth is round. So we should know that the earth is round and a sphere since the Prophet has this Quran. But unfortunately, we are the Arab people. We never think about this verse before. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that the earth is a sphere, is round. But like who discovered this? People say it's Columbus, 1892, when he took his ship and goes to the west. And actually Columbus, he was the only one who believed that he's going to see the India. But all the sailors and all the people in his time were thinking that he's going to the way where he get a ship to the monsters and the darkest sea, and you know. So anyway, we don't want to go away, but and people say also the Greek people, the first people who discovered that the earth is a sphere, is round. But nobody said that the Arab people or the Quran say that, because nobody think about this verse before. Anyway, ويكور النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر, and he subjected the sun and the moon to run their courses for an appointed time, for a certain time. ألا هو العزيز الغفار. He's the forgiving and he's the mighty. العزيز الغفار. This is pairs here. Like, you know. So and right now we're gonna go, though before we're gonna go for the next one, let's repeat this one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's the one who created the skies and the earth, and he showed you that the earth is a sphere, and he showed you that he wrapped the night on the day, and he wraps the daylight on the night. So he controlled the day and night by wrapping those ones over the other one. And he also subjected the sun and the moon. The sun goes for a limited time, and the moon also the same. And this is Allah, the mighty, and he's the forgiving one. Okay, so and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will go for the next one. The next one, Allah said خلقكم من نفس واحدة ثم جعل منها زوجها وأنزل لكم من الأنعام ثمانية أزواج يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات ثلاث ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك لا إله إلا هو فأنا تصرفون. So this verse, actually, it's like one of those verses, like, you know, it has lots of things inside one verse. And this is actually, I found that Surah Zumar, one of those chapters Zumar means groups. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, he will talk about Zumar. Like groups of people will go to paradise and groups of people will go to the hellfire. But I see also like this chapter It talks about the groups of meaning in the same verse. Like, you're gonna see this one. خلقكم من نفس واحدة ثم جعل منها زوجها. This is one part of the verse. وأنزل لكم الأنعام ثمانية أزواج. The second part of the same verse. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم. The third one. خلقا من بعد خلق. This is number 4. في ظلمات ثلاث. Number 5. ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك لا إله إلا هو فأنا تصرفون. Number 6. You see, in one verse, we're going to take a longer time. I think we're going to stop after this verse and then we'll continue in the next one. خلقكم من نفس واحدة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created you from only one soul. And then what? And then He made from its mates. He created Adam, and then from its soul Eve, Hawa. وأنزل لكم من الأنعام ثمانية أزواج. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about Al-An'am, ثمانية أزواج, clearly in Surah Al-An'am. And He mentioned that, like in Surah Al-An'am, in verses 143 and 144, what is the 8 ثمانية أزواج? What are they? They are 8 bears, 8 mates. Where they are من الضأن اثنين ومن المعز اثنين ومن الإبل اثنين ومن البقر اثنين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He divided those into 2 verses, 143, 144. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, ثمانية أزواج من الضأن اثنين ومن المعز اثنين كل الذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين أم اشتملت عليه أرحام الأنثيين نبؤوني بعلم إن كنتم صادقين ومن الإبل اثنين ومن البقر اثنين إلى آخر الآية. So this is the 8 pairs or 8 mates from the livestock, or from the animals, and from the grazing animals, which we read halal from them. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that وَأَنزَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ الْأَنْعَامِ ثَمَانِيَةَ أَزْوَاجٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created those grazing livestock, those animals, especially for us. And we know that we use those animals for their milk, their meat, their skin, everything in the animals, we use it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned يَخْلُقُكُمْ فِي بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ. He creates you inside your mother's wombs. Like, and this is very important. Like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right now, He went through something else. He's gonna talk about, like, the baby, like, and I have here something I want to show it to you when we talk about this one here. See, this is the one. Why I want to show you these pictures here? Because Allah mentioned something, and I witnessed a story. I was in a hospital for some months because of that. And with this verse, I know someone is living right now because of this verse. Why? I will tell you why. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم. He creates you in mother's wombs. In wombs is the rahim in Arabic, or uterus in professional English, the rahim, which has the baby or the fetus, and the fetus inside their mommy's wombs. And Allah mentioned that a word after that. He said what? He said خلقا من بعد خلق. خلقا من بعد خلق. A creation after creation. So the fetus, or the small baby inside the mother's wombs, it goes with creation after creation. What does this mean, creation after creation? It's very important. Creation after creation, it's exactly how this fetus, how the baby, the small baby inside the wombs, get to be bigger. So there is a stages. So the first 2 months is for the flesh, and then the bones, and then after that, and And I will tell you something, if the baby was born premature, the baby is usually born after 9 months. So when they get delivered and they get born, they start to suck milk from mother's breast. So they know how to suck milk. This is their knowledge. Who teach them? Allah, inside their tummy. And teaching the babies inside mother's wombs how to suck, this comes only in the last stage. Okay, so what is the proof of what I'm saying? I will tell you the proof. I was witness one of the babies in the hospital for 6 months here in Toronto. And this baby was born premature. She was born 6 months and 7 days. If this girl was born in our countries, she will be for sure dead. And when she was born premature, she doesn't know how to suck milk. So she used to take her foods from pipes, from she was, the hospital was connecting there is no lungs. The lungs came after that. So there is no lungs, and so she take the air and the food and everything with pipes connecting to her body, and for months and months. And she was outside, like in a glass chamber. So, and this poor baby, when she was born, she was struggling, but she was like a dead. For months, she was like a dead. And when I was reading this Quran, and I saw that يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات ثلاث, in 3 layers of darkness. ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك لا إله إلا هو فأنا تصرفون. في ظلمات ثلاث, خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات ثلاث. Creation after creation in a darkness with the 3 layers, or the 3 stages. So when I was reading about it, I'm not a doctor, I'm an engineer. So I will show you what's going on here. So you see here, this is the mother's skin. This is the fetus. And this is here, amniotic sac here. And this is the uterus or the womb. So we have 3 layers: the skin, the womb, and amniotic sac. 3 layers. ثلاث. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned those 3 layers in the Quran in this verse number 6. And I think the first guy who started to work with this anatomy and with medical stuff was Ibn Sina, and this was in 15th century, 16th century. But the first anatomy knowledge was starting in 17th century, 18th century, and then lately they discover this amniotic sac. They discovered this one maybe in latest 18th century. And the funny thing is the water inside the amniotic sac in French means a bag, or the sac, which has a water inside around the fetus or the baby. So this water, the people believe that this water comes from the urine from the fetus, from the baby, but it's not water. It comes from the plasma, and those water actually. The weird thing is this water around the baby, it changes its molecules based on the time. So, for example, when the baby is very early, it has this water is different from after 2 months. This water, becomes different, and becomes also sometimes the feed the baby, and it protects the baby also. The protects the fetus from the hitting, and also the urine from the baby comes on it, but and also some doctors take this water, and they know from the water, from this amniotic fluid, the correct name, amniotic fluid, they can know the gene of the baby, and And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful. He creates the you know, he creates us inside the mommy's wombs in 3 layers, and with this water, and with a warm skin, and with a amniotic sac, and the mother skin, 3 layers, and creation after creation, as I mentioned. So and when I went to the hospital, and I asked them to cover the, you know, to cover the baby in the glass. I don't like the baby to have light around the baby. So they look weird. Why you want to cover the, you know? I told them that's, so there was a Pakistani doctor, and I showed him the verse, and she understand. Then, you know, then it was covered already. And some families also, they took my advice and they covered. Some families did not follow to cover the, you know, to make the baby in the glass chamber in a darkness, not in a blue light like they was doing. So apparently, you know, they were good and everything would be perfect. And you know, and the problem is happening with this baby after the, sometimes when they becomes 9 months in their chamber, in this chamber, they have to test their lungs if it's working or not working. So they have to, like, you know, hit the baby in his back and see if he gonna shock, or like he gonna use his lungs. And the first time when they do that with the baby, she got shocked actually, and she was almost died for 1 minute and a half. And this was too much for her brain without oxygen. So what happened is she got 4 blood clots. But after that, I was going to the hospital every day, and like, you know, reciting Quran, and the blood clots has gone away with the recovery ayat, as I mentioned before in my previous video. Anyway, I think it's getting too much right now, and I have to stop, and I'm gonna continue in the next video after taking a break. Okay, thank you.